Do you know what an amber light means on its own? Okay, so this is a question I ask my learners a lot. Most of the time you get a response like, well, it's going to go to red. Yeah, okay, but how are we supposed to interpret what that amber light means? Okay, yes, the physical process of the lights changing is green, then amber, then red. Okay, and a lot of them will say, okay, well, be prepared to slow down, stop. So what actually states in the highway code is that, in simplistic terms, that you will stop unless by stopping that stop would result in an accident, or also if you were to go past the stop line and the stop past it. Obviously the driver of the next clip not only they not know what an amber light means, they obviously don't know what a red light means either, as you can see now. Now, for the next clip, I'm going to show what happens when you have time to stop, okay, but you have to brake quite hard, okay, and why it's important that we make sure that there's nothing going on behind us before we come to that stop. This one now. As you can see from that stop, okay, it was a hard stop, okay, but we had the time to stop. Malena had the time to stop. And on this next clip, we can see that as the Lena driver approaches now, we can see that the amber light was on amber for quite some time, and they had plenty of time to stop, and they did so nice and easily. So what should we be doing as we're approaching that light? Now, we've got a set of lights coming up here now in the distance, and obviously the lights turn to amber. I've got plenty of time to stop. I'm easing off my gas, I'm letting engine braking take hold. Okay, the vehicle that's behind me, as you can see it's quite close, so I'm going to start braking nice and early, okay, and it should be seeing the red light, it should be slowing down on its own, but we're going to help it along by showing our brake lights early. As we're coming up to the lights, obviously, like I said, that one changed quite early on. We could see it changing quite early on. Again, we're going to be looking at that rear view mirror, seeing that vehicle. It's not got a 2-second gap, okay. And if I was to come up to a set of lights now, I would not be comfortable with that vehicle behind me. I'd be, as I'm approaching, easing off, covering my brake and clutch, maybe just tapping my brakes a little bit to increase that distance from the problem in front, and to show the vehicle behind that I'm slowing down a little bit, so they've got more time to react because I'm going slower. Same here now, we've got the amber light coming up, vehicle behind is close, it's slowing down, okay, but it's too close. Look at the distance I've got from this vehicle in front, okay, currently 7 miles, 6, 7, 5 miles an hour almost, okay, and I've got plenty of time to stop. And that's the type of approach that you want. You don't want to be getting close to the vehicle in front until you really need to, until you cannot help it. So if we talk about timing of the lights, again, what you'd want to be doing as you're approaching is always considering the fact that these lights may change, okay? Ask yourself the question, right, how long have these lights been on red? Would I be able to stop safely if those lights started to change now? Okay, so what I always do is, as I'm coming up, I'm asking myself these questions, and if I'm thinking to myself, well, these lights have been on red for quite some time, it's off the gas as I'm getting closer, about, you know, even to the stage of 6, 7, 8 car lengths away, okay, whatever you perceive that as. I'm not talking about feet here, because no one's gonna, you know, do you know how much, you know, 10 feet is, or 20 feet, or whatever it is, okay? If we talk about car lengths, it's a lot easier to visualize. So it's like here now, okay, it's been on green for quite some time, the filter light's gone on, okay, so it's quite easy for me to have just gone. But I've got another set of lights here. It is a pedestrian crossing, but somebody could have pressed the button. So mirror check, see what's going on there, having a good look as I'm approaching, off my gas, cover my brake and clutch, let engine braking take hold, and we're coming up to a queue of traffic anyway, so we're just going to be keep on slowing down. I've got a little bit of braking there, but as I'm approaching now, okay, I've got the time to stop, I've got the distance to stop. Have a good look again, they might change, off the gas, and then go again. As you're getting to that point where you think to yourself, it's just not safe for me to stop. And that distance, depending upon the speed that you're traveling at, okay, obviously it's all relative to what speed you're going at. You know, if you're doing 10 miles an hour, it's going to be very easy for you to stop within a car distance away from the stop line, okay? But keep on looking at that car behind, alright, and they just keep on getting close. I've got a good distance from the vehicle in front, I've got a red light in front of me, okay, got the brake light start showing, off the gas, covering my brake and clutch, just letting the car slow down, gently braking, keeping an eye on the vehicle behind me and what's in front, just clutching at that point. Keeping that separation distance where I can see the bottom of their tyres. The thing that I always say is this: if as you're coming up to it, if you're approaching in the correct manner, okay, and as you approach it here, okay, mirror check, off the gas for a second, at that point you just keep on going, because at that point it'd be more like along the lines of, you know, oh dearie me, you won't be able to stop safely. It would be a quick reaction, okay? If you had to increase your speed to get through an amber light, then you've got time to stop. If it's a knee-jerk reaction, then you haven't got time to stop. But you should always be approaching with that idea in mind. Just like here now, okay? what could possibly happen? Could a car come, you know, just speeding out? Could a car come onto my side of the road from this point here? I don't know. So I'm covering my brake, I'm covering my clutch, I'm being prepared. But at that point where you think to yourself, right, it's not changing, then back on the gas and get going. And even if it changed at that point, it wouldn't be safe for you to stop. So for example, as I'm coming down here, light's been on green for quite some time, got nothing going on behind me, I cover my brake and clutch just in case, and at this point decide to go again. About one and a half, 2 car lengths away from the actual stop line. But if I needed to have stopped, I've got my brake covered, I've got my clutch covered, and I could just quite easily stop. And because I knew there was nothing going on behind me, I could quite easily stop quite firmly if I needed to. Now, the lights could change again here. Cars coming up behind me. At this point, definitely wouldn't be able to stop if the lights had changed. Now, there's people on that side of the crossing, but they could have pressed that button and then gone across beforehand. Or even, they could have been waiting for this side, forgot something and gone the opposite way. Again, the lights are just turned green, so it might change again, you never know. Mirror check, off gas, cover your brake, and then commit. I hadn't made much progress there, so if I had changed, there's no point rushing up past it just to beat the light, just like that driver the first clip did. So as I'm coming around the bend, I know there's a set of traffic lights there, but I don't know what's around the bend if I don't know from the area. Okay, so as I approached the bend, I'd already off the gas, already covered my brake and clutch, and then if the lights did change as you were approaching, or the lights were already on red and you had somebody here, okay, the traffic was backed up, you're already prepared. It's not a surprise. The lights just turned to green, but they could change again. Off gas, cover my brake and clutch, and then keep going. These lights have been on green for quite some time. Okay, keeping an eye on what's going on behind me, keeping an eye on it, keeping an eye on it. Okay, as I'm approaching, off gas, cover my brake and clutch just a second, and then just keep on going, because even if the lights had changed at this speed, at 30 miles an hour, it wouldn't have been able to safe for me to stop. The faster the speed, the earlier you have to start considering coming off your gas, well, checking your mirrors, coming off the gas, covering the brake and clutch. Obviously, the more and more competent you get, the more and more experience you get, the better and better you're going to get at judging that. So I hope that has shown you how to improve your approaches to sets of traffic lights and such. Remember that as soon as you get something in front of you that's going to cause you to slow down, stop or change direction, check your mirrors, okay, ease off the gas if needs be, and if there is that vehicle behind you that's following quite closely, start slowing down that little bit earlier. Now remember that this is not you kind of like brake checking them, it's not you going too slow for the situation. You're not going to have to be worried about whether or not, you know, they're going to, someone's going to mark you down for going too slow. Okay, you're dealing with what you see in the road. And if that means you slowing down nice and early, okay, so that you're increasing the distance from the problem, and therefore then hopefully the vehicle behind you is going to see that, you know, you're going to be going slow, so they're going to slow down, so then you've got more time to brake and stop if something did happen. Okay, that's what we're doing. You know, always be prepared rather than react to the situation. If you do find that this helps, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. Okay, everything would help. Okay, and I'll see you again in the next one. Stay safe.